in terms of the way you were raised, you grew up in the Bronx, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how was it growing up in the Bronx? Like, as in, because you live in Queens now, right?
I'm
So
in
how,
Queens now.
yeah, so how was it different, like growing up into the whole, and having hip hop as your background, or as like your straight and narrow path that you wanted to follow? So
Yeah.
how was it growing up in the Bronx?
Beautiful. I was a different person, so I wasn't focused at all. I was in the street, I was doing ignorant things. So, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. I learned a lot. The Bronx really raised me. I was hard headed.
Did you have a personal like motivation,
Um,
like mom, dad?
my mom, she raised me. I've lived with my uncles, to both of them, my grandmother. So I've had good. My dad's a heavy influence in my
Yeah.
life as well. I've had good people raise me and be around me, but it wasn't until like later in my 20s that I decided, oh, I think I have this thing called a passion, and
Yeah.
I want to really pursue it. It wasn't all about just doing the fun things in life anymore. I started to really open my eyes to things.
Okay. Well, so you mentioned earlier that you juggle two jobs, right? So how do you juggle the jobs and then the music? Like, when do you make time to actually sit down, write your songs, and like have that full passion that you actually deliver through your album?
Yeah. So my second job is music.
Oh.
But
Excuse me.
no, no,
Okay.
no, it's all good. I mean, it's still not simple juggling those two things. I think anybody that works two jobs, like I tip my hat to them, because time is to me is the most important commodity, and
Yeah.
maybe some people won't
It's
realize
about
that until
time.
later. Seriously, and some people won't realize that until later. So I guess I could say I'm blessed to again have my eyes open to that now.
Yeah, because I mean it's so different like now with all this like competitive artists out there. Like you have young artists, old artists, people who are just trying to make it into the industry.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy anymore. You know what I'm saying? So do you think it's complicated now to make your break into the music industry
Um,
with so many different artists out there?
I think now there's such a high demand for the type of music that the industry
Yeah.
wants. That's why my goal really more or less is just to I live in my own paradigm, to be honest. Like I do these interviews. My people see these interviews. The people that are following me, I get shows. I get other opportunities. I'm really in my own world. And if the music industry, as like a facility, decides to let me in and rock and make music, cool. But I'm not really tripping. Like I'm not like begging to get in. I'm gonna make money doing this regardless.
Okay.
I think so.
Have you had any what like so far in the industry, what's your like fondest memory like or like your highlight moment? What is your
Ooh, I had a really good highlight moment at A3C Festival in October, and I got to really chop it up with Bun B, which was really dope. I gave
Okay.
him an album, and it was just really cool being able to like he's a legend, and being able to have a conversation with him is just like
That's
that's
legendary.
that's legendary. That's something that goes in the book of my story. Like
Yeah.
it's something that inspired me to move forward and push on. Like, yeah, that was a really cool moment in the industry for me.
Okay. So in terms of like your fans, is it hard juggling like the criticism from fans or like either the positive aspects of having a huge fan base? How is it so far? Like how do you take it?
I mean, my fan base is always gonna be room for growth, but um, people are entitled to their own opinions. I put out any piece of art or music. I understand that not everybody's gonna like it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
definitely.
as long as I like it and I'm cool with it, I don't ever want to do a record that I'm asked to perform and I'm just like, why? I don't even like that song. Like, I don't want to be that guy. So yeah, I don't really get too much negative criticism, honestly, because I'm very selective with the music that I put out to the public.
Yeah.
But I have songs in that we'll never hear because I don't feel like they're that great.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to keep myself with a clean record.
Well, it wasn't that clean.
What you mean?
I'm talking about like like with profanities and stuff like that because we had to ask for a clean version.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, like, clean as in like just like straight streaks, like
Yeah.
good music streaks. But yeah, no, there's definitely curse words in there.
Do you freestyle
Like freestyle in the sense of off the top or freestyle like
off
you
the
throw.
top?
I do when I'm in the right setting. I'll just kick back and throw a couple of bars just because we're having fun. But yeah, it's not something that I sit there and practice every day.
Oh.
Like I'm not like B Rabbit, you know what I'm saying? Like in the movie 8 Mile where he was on the bus just writing. He was at work just
So like
writing.
freestyle, do you have like practice freestyles like for different shows and stuff like that?
I mean, I have like writtens that I can just come off the top of the head and spit. Yeah, I have a couple of those in the Yeah, you got to
So,
be ready.
so earlier you mentioned that in 2003 you wouldn't have been the person that you are today. So, like, if you
No.
can tell the person, maybe yourself 10 years ago, like, give yourself advice. What advice would you give yourself 10 years ago?
I would give myself the same advice many other people gave me, but I decided to not
What was
listen.
that?
Stay single, stack your bread. Stay out of everybody's business. Don't spend your money. Stay
Well,
focused.
money gotta be spent. Wait, money gotta be spent.
All right, don't spend your money on things that aren't a necessity.
Okay, cool. That's good
Invest your money back
advice.
into yourself. Those are things that I was told like from a
Yeah,
very young age, and I was just so lost in the sauce that it was like, yeah, bottles, why not?
yeah,
Strip club, why not? Doing things that are just like you look back at it now, like 5 years from now, it don't even matter. But I'll take the experience because I'm able to throw them in music.
yeah.
That's what life's all about. Making mistakes, lessons after you learn them, and going around. And the next time something like that comes my way, cool, I can handle it. So I would give myself that kind of advice. But I'm glad I did things the way I did because I wouldn't be who I am today had I not fell all those times.
Okay, and with that being said, what advice would you give, say, a 18-year-old who's striving to become an artist or a hip hop artist or R&B artist? What advice would you give them?
I mean, I stay focused. Cancel out all that side noise. So just hone your craft, get better, learn the roots of whatever it is you're doing, understand the history behind that.
Yeah,
I had seen something crazy where it was just talking about like there was like there was a debate about Tupac, and I guess some people just don't know who that is, and that's cool. But we have the internet. You can sit there and do your homework. I know the name Tupac sounds familiar, so just get a little curious. Stay
yeah.
curious, and always look to evolve in your craft and take it seriously. And I think it'll really take people places.
So what was that like? That epiphany when you actually said, "Okay, I want to do this. Like, I want to do it for a living." When did you have that aha moment?
It's really how people gravitate towards the music. And every time I get off the stage and I rap, people like somebody will come up to me and say, "Yo, when you said X, Y, and Z, it really hit me right here." That's why I do this because me growing up, I'm my only child, so I wasn't like the popular kid until like maybe later on when I had actually started doing music.
Yeah,
And I know what it feels like to sit there and listen to Eminem in my headphones all day and go to sleep listening to Eminem in my
I
headphones
had those
all
moments.
night. And I know that there's somebody in their room who doesn't have anybody else to connect with because
Yep.
they feel so alone, which is why I put so much content and life in my music. So anybody who's listening, they can either learn something, maybe it can provide a different perspective, point of view on how to see things, or just, again, get curious, or maybe they see me as I'm somebody good and somebody they want to be better than, and that inspires them to push forward with their craft. I just want to inspire people. I know a couple of times in this interview, I'm like, I'm going to make money regardless, but that's just because the world we live in, we need to make money to survive. But money is by far the least important thing to
Money
me.
should always be the second. Like, I guess, like, not fame first, whatever. But it should always be your passion that's always at the front center stage of your career. It
Yeah,
should always be the passion while you're doing. Because some people get into this industry just to make money because they want, like, the cars, the diamonds, whatever, the
right,
bling. But they're not doing it for a passion in a sense. But
right.
I love artists who are actually doing it, as a craft, and they're trying to perfect it because they're doing it for a passion. And it's not that many artists out there anymore that you can actually say who is doing it for their passion or for their line of work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I meet artists all the time, and a lot of them are very passionate. Some of them just do this for a hobby. Some of them
Yeah.
strictly do this to get in the music industry. There's so many different angles, and I'm never mad at the artist who comes at me and says, I just do this for the money. Yo, salute. I tip my hat off to you. That's what's up because you know what? We all have to get it how we can
We all
get
gotta
it.
eat.
We gotta eat, you know. So I'm not mad at that. I understand it 110%.
So I usually have to ask, like, all my male artists who come on, are you single?
No.
Good. Okay, so as a, I don't know how old you are, but as a young artist, how do you stay single with all the temptations that come along with being in the industry?
I mean, I don't. Me personally, I see right through the temptations. Like, again, I had such a good, fun life, and especially, just leading up to where I am today. And I have somebody good that's by my side, and
That's good.
she's involved with what I'm doing. So if I jack that up, that's just dumb. Like, like I feel like the idea of getting in a relationship, you want to be with somebody who's compatible. You're compatible with somebody that you're not going to waste your time with because again, time's the most important thing that we will ever have.
Yeah.
So just moving forward, I'm focused in that direction. And, I just, yeah, if you're either going to be in a serious relationship doing this,
Yeah.
somebody who understands, I suggest you stay single
Okay.
because girls are, any
First,
relationship can be a distraction to your craft.
definitely, and I feel like there's so much like influences from the artists that we have today. So guys who are not in a relationship, they don't know how to like actually be in a relationship anymore because, like I said, there's so much temptation out there.
Yeah.
So actually, my co-host is here, so we're gonna take a quick break. Actually, play one of Reaching Nova's awesome hits from his album. It's about time. So we're gonna take a quick break, guys.